Evening, you join me ADG123 for the Sunday Night Racing League, which is a pretty much Dutch run league in the Clio Cup, and this is race 7 and 8, two races this evening, and qualifying which should start very shortly, within the next 5 minutes or so. So here we go. You join me live for a race for a change. Don't do this very often, but doing quite well in this championship. I'm third at the moment, but I'm not too fussed about it at the same time. So I want to do well in it, but I don't mind if my commentary gets in the way a little bit. I can sacrifice it a little bit through this championship. So yeah, I didn't test my mic before I started, which I should have done, so hopefully you can hear me alright as I go wide into that corner. So I had a bit of a practice earlier on today, this afternoon on this in the Clio on this track, and managed to put in some good lap times, so hoping that I can get back into that rhythm and it comes back to me and I can put those lap times in again. Front wheel drive car, 220 brake horsepower. Got the, in fact I need to check that, and so I've got the brake balance set up towards the rear, but just to give me maximum capability on the front wheels with the steering and the acceleration. So yeah, that's right, I've got my braking right at the rear, which is why I want it. The traction control's off. So we're not in qualifying yet, but I want to just start hitting these apexes like I want to do, and start getting the lines that I want. Don't want to waste many laps when we actually get going. So these races normally last about 20 minutes, 25 minutes sometimes. I've never quite worked out how it works. Sometimes it's done on laps, sometimes it's done on time, so just have to see how it's done tonight. I'm not quite sure. Bit of a corner cut, and then an exit cut as well, taking it very wide. I always look at the speedo going up that hill. It's so slow you don't have to do anything with the steering, so I always look at the speedo and I know if I'm heading at the bottom of the hill, if I'm hitting it at about 81, 82 mile an hour, I know that's about the speed that is probably about maximum 83 if I get a very good exit out of that corner. So I know I'm on for a good lap just by knowing that, really, because all that section after it is a big long straight. Even though it's not straight, it's all flat out, and just carrying the speeds, nice easy corners to get through. So not the best start, not the best first lap after my out lap, but it's a 1:35.0, and I've previously today done a 1:32.3. So miles off what I know I can do. Got to think about tyre wear as well. It's not a massive issue in these Clios, but at the same time I don't want to waste these tyres and then have to pit. Although it will be a strategy later on, because the fuel usage comes down as we're driving along through qualifying here. So I will go into the pits towards the end when the qualifying actually starts. That is, keep talking about it so it started, and it hasn't. This is just a quick practice before it starts. Some good races in this championship. Like I say, I'm in third in the championship so far, but there's a couple of guys ahead of me. One guy in particular that rubbed everyone up the wrong way last week, called Hamster. And yeah, he was very aggressive, getting past people on corners that he shouldn't really be overtaking on and stuff like that, so just barging his way past. But he didn't ruin anyone's race, he didn't put anyone into the wall, but he was certainly a bit more aggressive than most people would like to deal with. So yeah, there's a few people to look out for in this championship, but too much to worry about. We're all in the day. It's just down to who drives the best for 20 minutes or however long the race lasts for in this case. So let's try and get a good about 70 metres away, about the 70 metre mark. Judging it by the 150 metre boards, that is. And then just try and hit this as a late apex, really carry it right over to the left hand side, which I've managed to not do. And then you can make that one nice corner, but I've messed that up massively, so I'm not in the rhythm whatsoever so far. But it's nothing to worry about, like I say, I haven't got started yet. So good job I've got on a few minutes early and given myself this chance actually. Just get my mistakes out of the way and start honing into the car again like I did this afternoon. Feels wrong coming out of there in fourth, but it can work for you if you do it right. Like I say, looking at the speedo there, 82 mile an hour as I start going up the hill, so it's not too slow, even though it felt really slow. That's the nature of the Clio. It's not the fastest car in the world. I actually own a Clio 197 myself, which is one of the older Clio Sports from 2009. Mine is anyway. Is it? No, 2007, sorry. Good car as well. I like my Clio 197. I've had plenty of chances to sell it over the years, but I've always thought, no, you know what, I'm going to keep it. It's one of them cars I'm going to keep for as long as possible. Even if it's just sat in a garage somewhere, I want to kind of keep it. I've done quite a few track days in it, at Donington, at Blyton Park, at Alton Park, and it's absolutely brilliant on track. So a really good car, and if anyone's interested in buying a track car and they're listening to this, then they're pretty cheap and they're pretty high performance car for the money, and you can pick one up for about £3 and it won't actually be in too bad a nick. Probably have a bit of a crunch in third gear in the gearbox, and the exhaust might be blowing slightly, but in that case it'd probably be more like £2.5 grand. £3-4 grand, you're looking at an actual decent one, and you've got a 200 brake horsepower hot hatch front wheel drive, and handle an absolute beast because of the suspension on them, and yeah, really good cars, really good fun. Get a bit of lift off oversteer that's really predictable in them, so on a track that's good to use, very fun, getting the back end out when you want to. Anyway, I've set it half decent like that time, but not too great. It's not on the one of the top times, but it has put me in second, but I'm still a second down from the guy in first. This is the corner to improve on. If you get this corner right, you can carry so much speed through it. That was good. Even though I'm in fourth gear, just building the rev slowly. Absolutely crucial to get on the accelerator early there. Carry the speed out of the corner because of the hill. Straight up that big hill, so it takes forever to build the revs if you don't get it right. So a bit naughty of me there, hitting the guy on my side, but give him room now since I've ruined his lap and I've ruined my own. What I need to start doing now to draw that second in that dark Ralph has got on me in pole. Is it qualifying at the moment? I'm being a lobby reset, so I'm assuming we've started qualifying now. It's meant to start at 7:30 and it's gone 7:30, so I'm assuming we're in qualifying side by side as I head into the first corner, which is great in qualifying. But let's see if we can still get it done with a decent corner. and then get the line right for the second one as well, which is important. So slow out of there, didn't have a chance to take the wide line into it and carry the speed. Well, let's see if we can make up for it with a bit of late braking into it. So just a bit of trail braking, feeling the grip, and then back on the accelerator. Looking behind me, don't have to worry about him too much. Carry the speeds, hopefully. In fourth gear it feels so wrong because it's so slow coming out of there, but it's the hill, it's the hill you've got to deal with that's the problem. It's not the gears. Oh, I missed that apex by a mile. Carry the speed though, get my foot down as early as I can. Hit all these curbs nicely if I can. When I was practicing earlier, some guy must have been watching and actually told me off for corner cutting, so better actually respect the corners and not cut them too much, even though I like a good old corner cut for a bit of speed. So a bit delayed on the accelerator coming out of there, which is no good in a slow car like this. But it's not, didn't feel like too bad a lap overall. So it's a 1:33.8. It's not great. Alright, let's get a good one in. That's better through there. Although it's a small difference, you probably can't even tell the difference by watching it. It just feels faster, and I know I got my foot down faster, so, or earlier should I say, and then obviously I carry more speed because of that. So even though it might be a mile an hour here or there, through these corners, if you can carry that extra mile an hour into the corner and not scrub too much speed off on the brakes as you head in, prime example up this hill, that makes all the difference. That's all I'm trying to do in this Clio really. Trying to just maximise the momentum you've got at all times. I keep going wide there, that's not a good line through there. Ruins this section, and I've scrubbed too much speed off by oversteering, understeering should I say, and having to turn the wheel and the front wheels more than they should have to turn, scrubbing off speed. And you can hear that with the tyre squeal. So a good exit this time. Let's make this the lap. If this is qualifying now, which I believe it is, it's got to be. This league always seems a bit random. Never quite sure when it started and what's going on. Just make sure I turn up for half-7 and hope for the best. Hope I don't miss the race. That's better through there. Held the apex all the way through that corner. Into fourth a little bit early, so short shifted, but it's really hindered me actually. But let's see if we can make it count by not really having to brake there. Carry the speed again. So dropping down the hill, gaining a bit of speed. Up to 100 mile an hour in fourth gear. Just missed that comment, so that will probably be something about when qualifying's about to start, hopefully. Could be wrong, it might have been something about something else. So carry the speed on the exit there this time, taking it wide to the curb and cutting back. Let's get this corner right for a change. That's better, actually hitting that early apex, straightening the whole section out so I can take the straightest line possible through the whole lot. Still down on my overall time, my fastest time. So as I say, these guys, or this league seems to be quite unpredictable, so I almost imagine the final thing with Bob coming up and saying starting in a minute, in which case I'd be in second place, so it's not too bad. But I would like a better lap, just because I know I've done one earlier today. A bit too early on the brakes into that first corner, and I feel like I've got to get back on the accelerator to almost drive through the corner rather than brake into the corner, because I do brake a little bit too early, I suppose. With hindsight, get that tilted in early and carry that speed, that's good. Might not look perfect, but again, it's about those extra mile an hour that you can carry through, or two. Got off being boring so far. So looking forward to SimFX race on Tuesday, and that won't be boring at all, on Willow Springs big track or whatever it's called, and that'll be a bit of a delight for everyone that's involved. Pretty tricky, I imagine, and not the kind of track you want to be making a lot of mistakes on, because you get punished if you go anywhere near going off on that track because of the desert at the side, or the should we say the sand at the side just pulls you off even further. There's no getting back on once you're on there. So let's carry the speed out of the last corner this time. This feels like quite a good lap. That was good out of the last corner as well, just holding it in third, waiting for the revs to build again. So I'm down into third place now. I've been dropped down by another guy that's qualified faster. So again, not fast enough. Let's brake later into the first corner, really start pushing it. Let's go for these apexes as well. The tyres are going off, so I need to really force the issue if I'm going to make these tyres work. That is slow again. I've hit short shifted into fourth way too early again there. I don't know why. So I've ruined my chance of this on this lap. Hamster, the guy that I mentioned at the start, he's behind me as well. So I won't mind putting another driver between me and him if possible. Don't really want him behind me because I know he's quite aggressive. So it could ruin my start if he does something in the first couple of corners. Ruin my race overall by knocking me off the track or being too aggressive somewhere. It's not the easiest track to overtake around because it's very much just a line, one line really around this track, especially through this kind of section. And you just want to hit every curb and carry the speed don't scrub off too much speed and steer as smoothly as possible, so you're not scrubbing off any speed with the tyres either. Again, early as possible on the accelerator, on the exit. Just make sure you don't get understeer and go wide. So my tyres I think have given up on me a bit because that felt like quite a good lap, but not got the time out of it, so maybe my tyres have given up and they ain't actually the time in my tyres now, but we'll give it one last shot. Oh, I've done it again. It's even worth going back down into third. It's that slow when I go into fourth that early. So it's the kind of corner where the tyre wear actually feels like it makes a difference through there. Push me wide a little bit understeer it. I want to know what's going on with qualifying. I hope it's still a practice session this, because I don't feel like I've got it going yet really, not properly. Still haven't put a decent lap time in. Well, I have nowhere near my 132.3 that I put in earlier today on the same track with the same car. So I'm 7/10 off at the moment. It'd be nice to get somewhere near it, if not close to it, incredibly close to it. So this section's quite good, it's all flat out through here. Sorry if I haven't been the loudest so far, just adjust my microphone a little bit. I hope that's a little bit better if it hasn't been that loud. So trying to get the apex and accelerate nice and early again. I'm going to pit actually. Got rid of a bit of fuel. Let's go on to the soft tyres, no refuel. So let's get some new tyres now we've lost a bit of fuel and see what we can do now I've warmed up and got into a rhythm as well. Assuming this is qualifying and there's been no announcement for it. think I should actually experiment a little bit and go into third on these corners instead of sticking with fourth. It is how I got that fast lap time earlier in the day, but maybe just pushing it that extra bit on the revs might help me. Might be a different time of day that I was practicing on or something like that, so might be worth trying to get that extra bit of grip from the lower gear now compared to earlier when I had my practice. So as you can tell, I'm pretty serious tonight. If you've watched me before, compared to what I can be like, that's just because I'm racing and I want to do quite well, so I'm in serious mode. Although we're only in the Clios, they're easy to have an understeer moment with because of the front wheel drive nature of the car. Wanting to understeer on you almost if you don't get the braking done right. And the turning nice and smooth and load up the tyres properly. So we carry the speed best we can through there. I've done the short shift again just because it looks like I'm hitting the limiter in third, but it's actually just struggling for traction and it's hitting the limiter because of that reason. So I've short shifted into fourth, which has completely put me off, and I've probably wasted the best lap for my tyres there. I'll give way to the people behind me now. Get a bit of clear room, maybe even get onto the back and slipstream them. So see what we can do into this corner, see if we can get with them and use the slipstream down the straight. So they're side by side, so that's good for me. Will bring me closer to them. I'm not going to push and go for an overtake or anything because I want to get a qualifying lap in. So slipstream is the ideal situation for me. Even though again we're only in the Clios, I might only gain a mile an hour or two down the straight from slipstreaming, but so a message at the bottom: 10 minutes before double track time reset. After that 15 qualification starts, right? So 10 minutes and then qualifying starts, basically a 15-minute qualifying session. So I've started this stream way too early in that case, but there we go. I'm playing it anyway, I'm here practicing, so I guess if you're interested and you've joined me then and you find what I've talked about kind of interesting, then I'm glad you're here, and it's just a bit of extra time we can spend together. Oh, romantic. So really important call on that one. I need to make sure I'm nailing that all the way through the race, otherwise I'm giving up time to the guys behind, people behind. Inevitably, if there's a few people behind, they'll be hitting that corner perfectly. So now I know this isn't qualifying, I can just mess about and experiment a little bit, see what I can actually, kind of speed I can carry with different gears and stuff like that. It feels very much between the gears on this track at times. I need to nail that corner as well, keep going wide on the exit a bit, so I need to lift off and just get the front end turned in and then get back on the accelerator. At the moment I'm heading in too fast and then lifting off when it's too late, when I've already gone a bit wide. So I'll just have a slope of Stella Artois. No, I won't, because I'm a bit too close to the braking zone. I will do on the straight though. Oh. Right, so I've got half a tank of fuel. Let's see what we can do on these new tyres, and then after the reset in qualifying we'll have to try and do as many laps as possible to get the fuel down, do a late pit stop to change the tyres to fresh soft tyres, and then see if we can put it on pole and then try and win this race. The second race in this championship is a reverse grid race, 2 races tonight, it's not just one race. Again, I've hit the short shift a bit there, but yeah, it's not just one race. Second race tonight is a reverse grid from the finishing positions from the first race. So yeah, That's always tricky. If you win the first race, you start at the back in the second one, but makes for an interesting second race, and especially if people are actually racing respectfully and you can trust them through the corners and actually try for the overtakes with a bit of trust in people, not bashing you off basically, then it should be good. And at least everyone knows the track by that point. No one's really got an excuse because everyone's just had a 20-minute race on the track. So Hirsch just reminding us there after qualification, just stay on the track so you don't get left out of the race, which always seems to happen at some point in some league. A good line through there. That I know it could look like a corner cut, that, but that's what I call hugging the apex. Try and do the same through here. So again, good speed through there, carried it well. This is a good lap so far from it. Let's see what the split time says. Oh, 1.5 down, so it's not the best. 0.15 should I say. Sticking fourth and try and carry that speed to the curb and then back. Hit the apex again and then straight line it to the next corner. Make sure we get this apex because it's crucial. It means that you can get your foot down all the way through this section. Means that change into fifth gear, heading up the hills that little bit earlier, so you gain the revs. You build the revs slightly in fifth before you actually get to the hill or the start of the hill section to bring you up to the last corner. So I'll try and get some kind of little slipstream off this guy, even though it'll be very marginal and won't make any difference really. It might give me something, so I'm in pole. All of a sudden I've managed to put in the lap time and put myself at the top, but I've still not put the actual lap time in because looking at the top bottom left, the fastest lap still Dark Ralph's on a 132.377 and I've done a 132.907. Did quite well looking at that through those corners. Good through there as well, and foot down nice and early, but in fourth gear didn't bother with third. But yeah, a few people are in the pits now, maybe just waiting for the qualifying to start. That's exactly the line I don't want to be taking at any point during the race. Even if it's defensive, I need to drive it better than that, because that was terrible. So no one behind me and no one to worry about. Well, there is someone behind me, but it's quite a distance behind me on the mini map there. I prefer not to have all these things on, but Gran Turismo, I like to race in this view and you can't have a virtual mirror on, so it does lend me to want to keep the mini map on and stuff, even though I know the track off by heart. But just to see where people are and if people are closing in on me in general, and the distance down the straight, I like to judge sometimes. There's a guy behind me, is he closing on me down the straight? Was he closer this lap than last lap? I know you've got your delta as well, your relative time at the top left, but still at the same time, it's good to use. We're trying to hook up these first couple of corners, carry the speed as best we can. No early shift this time, actually concentrating instead of just daydreaming my way through it whilst I talk. Oh, short shifted again a little bit there. It seems so in between the gears, this feels like you're hitting the limit in third, and it turns out if you end up shifting a bit too early, you could hit it more. You're not hitting the limiter, you're losing traction. So carrying the speed in fourth again, not dropping into third this time. 82, so not too bad climbing the hill. No, that's a good speed to be entering the top of the hill there. wide through that corner, but managed to keep my foot down pretty much all the way, so still accelerating slowly, but half a second off my fastest time. See if we can, I won't beat my time now, but let's see if we can claw it back to be less than half a second. We're good braking into the last corner. Let's take it as a deep, wide, late apex. On the gas as soon as possible, run it to the curb and see if we can make any time back. So no, half a second, I didn't lose any time, but there's 2 minutes till qualifying, so I'm going to just quickly nip to the toilet and then I'll be in it for the whole race then. So bear with me, should just pull over, not actually stop on the apex, bad of me. Luckily there's no one right behind me and he's reset it anyway, so I'll just nip to the toilet now, let everyone else set off and I'll be out there in a second. Hello, I'm back. So, managed to time it quickly enough so I didn't actually miss any qualifying. Let's get into this. Want to get a good qualifying here. Not the easiest track to overtake through. Not too difficult at the same time, but want to give myself as least overtaking to do as possible, even though that's the most fun aspect to a racing, you could argue, but I want a nice easy race because there's some people I want to be, just make sure I'm in front of if I can be through this race and not have to worry about having to defend to them from behind. So into qualifying now, so get this outlap done and look at just getting the lines right and getting a decent banker lap in. That says that was banker, not anything else. So using the curb on the left hand side there pretty much as my my braking marker, carrying the speed nicely in third there for a change, so might use that a bit more through qualifying now. Was using fourth gear and just waiting for the torque of the front wheels, but probably have a bit more pace in third if I get it right, so start mixing it up now and got 20 minutes I believe, or 15-minute qualifying, sorry, and then it's the start of the race. Anyway, that guy's given way to me, so let's get this last corner right, let's not make sure he doesn't hit me or anything, which is miles behind now, so it won't. And then we're into the start of qualifying, so I've got a full tank of fuel, so it's probably not going to be the fastest laps to start with, but we'll give it a good go, try to get up there nice and early. In that way, even if you drop down a few places, you're still only dropping down into 6th maybe, and then you've got a chance later on without the fuel to be able to improve your time. But if I can put it in 2nd or something, or even 1st in this early stage of qualifying, then it's good for, again, being the time I can just rely on to see me through if I don't improve later on with the new tyres and less fuel. So quite competitive everyone, so I'm expecting to be having to work through qualifying here. I expect to be doing well, but like I say, I've put in quite a bit of practice today and done decent times, so I think I've got it in me to actually put it somewhere near the top. Bit understeery through there, but carrying the speed still, dropping back from the guy behind there. Moving forward, just as we can go over that curb. So I need to attack the curb some more, just carry that bit more speed. Even the rumble strip, the curb on the inside, the big one. So let's see where we come. So into third, not too bad, but certainly can improve on that. Getting a bit closer to the cars in front now though. They've not, the guy in front's put it in 5th and the guy in front of him's put it in 10th. It's just changed to 6th and 10th, so I'm quicker than them. I'm in 4th now, I've dropped down from 3rd. Guy behind's gone quicker than me. So again, sticking in 4th through there, just trying to carry the speed. Does it work? I almost don't think it does. I'm trying to not just carry the speed, but avoid the extra gear change that you can argue is unnecessary sometimes and just costs you more time in that way. So just trying to carry my speed there, didn't mean that whatsoever. I shouldn't have bothered. I do apologise, that guy. I'll wait for him now. I've got some massive penalty anyway. Just trying to carry my speed there and managed to catch up with him and caught him out. So that was bad driving from me, I'll just be honest. Oh, internet connection not good enough at the moment, it says. So yeah, it was just bad driving from me, terrible. I do apologise to that guy. I think it was the guy in front of me that I've just let go past. So this guy again is letting me go this time. Take the wide exit, why not? Didn't mean to do that, but might as well aim for it and open up the steering to go for it once you know you've got it wrong. Commit to it because you don't get a penalty for it. So alert on the brakes, managed to get it stopped enough, missed the apex by a mile, so late on the accelerator, but see if we can make it count for this corner instead. Oh, back end on the grass, actually worked out a treat. Thought that was going to be a massive moment, but it actually just turned me into the perfect line. So that's one to remember, if we could use that consistently. I've lost speed there, so drop time. So I'm in 4th at the moment. I want to get higher than that, I'll be honest. 4th's not bad, but I want to be looking at more on the, well, 1st, 2nd, 3rd really. Hamster in 2nd, so at least he's going to be in front of me, which is the guy I'm most worried about. But yeah, everyone else I want to improve and get in front of. So this is a crucial corner, I find. Carry the speed the best you can through there as early as you can on the accelerator, on the throttle, and then same through here really. Try to get that apex early and as fast as you can on the throttle. On the exit, welcome whoever's joined me. Nice to have someone watching. So again, wide, missing the apex a little bit. Well, a lot, should I say. 4th gear, always feels like it's dragging forever going up that hill. Missing the apex again. Let's make it all the mistakes in one lap, hopefully. I know that won't be the case, but I'm in qualifying, by the way, whoever's just joined me, for Sunday Night Racing League Clio Cup. I made a G123, and yeah, cheers for joining me. We're in qualifying for 2 races tonight in the Renault Clio 220 brake horsepower front wheel drive, and that's about it. Some good races in this league. Yeah, you've got to be fast to be up there and winning. So pretty competitive guys at the front, putting in very fast lap times. Not the easiest cars to drive fast, not the hardest cars to drive either, but to actually drive and get the most out of them, they're quite difficult in a way, being front wheel drive. Trying to carry my speed as best I can through there. Just turn the little heater off, it's getting a bit warm. So I've got about 7 minutes or 6 minutes left of qualifying. So I'm going to pit in a minute, even though I haven't ran much fuel down. It's going to give me a slight advantage, but no, it's not even worth doing at the moment. In fact, my tyres really aren't that warm, so I'm still on pretty much brand new tyres. That's better through there this time. Cut all these corners a little bit, carry as much speed as possible, gentle on the steering so you're not scrubbing any speed from the tyres. And again, gentle on the steering, try not to scrub any speed. So aiming for that orange apex really, and then it gives you a good line to be able to put your foot down early for the exit. So into second now, that's better. That was a good lap. Means that I've got hamster behind me now though, so that's a worry for me if the positions stay like this. Let's see if we can improve on this lap on the next Delta section time. That was close. And then if we can, we'll go into the pits and get some fresh tyres on, I think, even though there's very minimal wear. I think it might help. Now I've got the fuel load coming down a little bit. 3/4 of tank left still, but that little bit of weight saved should make a little bit of difference. No need to be sorry, that was very close, but it's all good. Where's the split time? I want to see a split time. See where I am. That's good into there. Just trying to straighten out these corners as much as possible. So again, 0.3 down now, so it's not a great lap. Do I pit? I can't actually blame that on the tyres really. That's probably just my driving through that lap. So that's better this time, right over the yellow curb, gives you that line for the exit again. Means you can carry as much speed as possible down the straight. Could go for a wide entry, a late entry and really tighten up that corner, but it's the way I like to do it. So make sure you hug that apex, wait for the revs to build in third and then into fourth. Make sure you tuck it in as far over to the left hand side as you can and then back over to the right. Make this one big corner, it just flows nicely and runs you to the exit. Again, probably should have gone down into fourth. I'm into third place now, so someone else has put me back in my spot, so I'm going to pit at the end of this lap. In fact, I'm not actually going to have time to be able to, so I'm just going to have to concentrate on putting a better lap in now with the same tyres. Again, they're not worn really, I'm just giving myself the excuse that that's the reason I'm not going any faster, but they're not that worn, so it's just putting a better lap time. I really need to attack these curbs and get it done. It might look like I'm attacking them now, but I really need to attack them. Trying to straighten the car up as soon as possible. Not the fastest exit, I don't think, but let's try carry that little bit more speed later, braking into the first corner. So some guys just come out of the pits. I hope he's competent enough to start on the way. If I end up catching him, that is, he's in second place, so I should be able to. So it's fast through there, that's good, that felt good. He's getting blue flagged actually, so he should know that I'm here. Let's get this corner right, this is a crucial corner for carrying the speed. Slow in fourth gear, but I feel like it's the right thing to do just because I can put my foot down all the way through the corner. I've got no worries about going wide. So I'm down on my time by a tiny amount, but let's try and gain a bit through here. Let's go down into third this time, rev the bullocks off it and back into fourth. Just to get it turned into the apex, better in third. Hopefully I'm up on my time or somewhere near on the next split time. Going a bit wide there, let's try and carry speed wide. Nope, I've gone too wide. I just kept my foot in and hoped it would come back to me, and it didn't. So let's see if we get a penalty for that. Yeah, I got a penalty, so might as well waste this lap now. No one behind me, so let's get rid of this penalty and then set off on the new lap. So last corner coming up. Let's try and make the most of this now. We're going a bit slowly into it, leave a gap to the guy in front. So let's, I hit limiter in third there, that's not good. So let's try and maximise these corners by going into third gear this lap, see if it actually brings me up the time a little bit. So quite good through there again, not too bad. Going to go down into third into this next one instead of sticking in fourth. And then back up into fourth. Run it wide. Don't think it'll have harmed me too much that. Carried speed. Still down on my time though. Maybe the tyres are worn that little bit that I can't improve. Just feel like I'm driving these laps half decently. Again, fourth gear, feels like it's just so bad up that hill, it's so slow to pick up the revs and pick up any kind of speed. You probably gain about 7 miles an hour all the way up that hill, and you feel like you're going up it for about 10 seconds. So into fifth finally. So that was quite neat and tidy through the last corner. I don't know if it was fast, it felt okay. Let's see where we come, see if it's an improvement. Oh, I don't think I can improve. So my fastest time is a 1:33.0, which I'm a bit disappointed with if I'm honest, because I got a 1:32.3 earlier today. So in practice, when I was just practicing online with a few of these guys. So I'm a bit gutted that I haven't managed to improve on that or get anywhere near it. Let's see if we can. There's still a few minutes left, but I'm not hopeful now. The tyres are going off. Just feel like I'm getting that little bit more understeer, not pulling me out of the corners the same way the front tyres. So I keep being down and it feels like I'm going perfectly, you know, I'm hitting the apexes and driving perfectly well, but I keep being down on my time. So that's the result of the tyres. Again, I'll be down here even more a bit, but that felt quite nice through there. I better put my can down, my can of Stella, and actually take the corner. I was just about managed to put it down in time. Nope, managed to fuck it up instead. Sorry about the language. Oh no. So I just give myself a penalty right at the end of qualifying basically. If it is the end of qualifying, never know with these guys. In fact, I'm going to go into the pits and see if I can, because then if it starts the race, then I'll be in the pits. Never know. We're meant to be qualifying for 15 minutes and we're already at 17.5 minutes, so what's going on? So we're definitely late braking into this first corner now. got rid of our penalty. Oh, a bit too late there. Got rid of our penalty down the straight there. Let's pull the handbrake and have a bit of fun now, ruin this lap. Oh, so race starts now, so we've had 17.5 minutes instead of 15. Now we've had 18 minutes, getting on for 18.5 minutes instead of 15, but there you go, that's these Dutches, I suppose. I could be stereotypical and say the obvious things about people from Holland and why they might be a little bit not following the time. Anyway, we won't stereotype. So it feels incredibly easy through here when you actually got the rhythm and you've got the apexes hooked up nicely. So we're starting the first race here eventually. Send the qualifying and I'm starting in 4th with Hamster behind me, which is my main worry, is the Hamster guy. So if he looks pretty threatening on the first lap and I can afford to let him pass without letting anyone else past, I might consider it, just to get rid of him and let him go up front and fight and probably knock someone off and give me a place as well. Anyway, might be judging him a bit too harshly, but it seemed like that in the last races that we had with him. Well, I had with him. So I've forgotten to put the traction control on, but I'll leave it now, it's too late. So I might have a little bit of a bad start, but let's try and get it done quite neatly. So not too bad actually. Gained on Mouse here in front of me, or Moose here. Let's not have an incident though, this is extremely close. I don't want to brake and give up the place though. Worked hard to get down the inside of him or give myself a chance there and get into 3rd, which I've managed to do. Tiny bit of contact to get me there, but I need to change up my map. That's better. Not my map, so I can see the radar at the bottom, I mean. Oh, it's all a bit hectic start. Wasn't really ready. Trying to smoke a cigarette at the same time. So we're away and we've got a bit of a tiny gap to the guy behind. The voice keeps breaking tonight, bit of liftover oversteer there, but using it nicely. Guy behind, guy in front there, probably worried that I was going to hit him, but controlled it quite nicely with no concern for him really. Probably looked like it was, but it wasn't. So just trying to keep it neat and keep the guy behind me, pull a gap to him really and start catching the guy in front, getting his slipstream properly. And this is my aim straight away, so I already feel like I've pulled a little gap to the guy behind, he's disappeared off my radar, so that's already half of racing's the mentality towards it, and that's positive straight away. So a little tap on him, but I feel that's quite fair, it wasn't too harsh. We are in the Clios, it's kind of touring car style, and they certainly haven't given him any damage or ruined his race. And he got the place back anyway, so let's look for a place down the inside. Can I outbrake him? Nope, so we'll go make sure we don't hit him instead. Make sure we keep the defensive line for the guy behind me. It's pretty close on the radar. He's taken a wider exit, probably carried more speed, so I need to think about defending again. He's dropped back a little bit actually. So I need to get this line right, make sure he don't dive down the inside yet. Keep it in 4th again and just wait for the torque to build. So I've got a good run, slipstreaming on the MB512 now. Looking for the end of the curb on the left hand side for the braking zone. Get it hooked up to the apex and then back on the accelerator. Try keeping the slipstream as much as possible behind this guy. And just try and settle into the race now, try and keep this 3rd place. If not gain places, make sure I don't give away 3rd is the main thing really. That's my main priority now. These guys, like I say, are pretty fast, so one little mistake from me and there'll be a few people past. It won't go unnoticed, and you know, just lose a little bit of time. It'll punish me massively if I have any massive moment. Lucky I got away with that lift off oversteer moment on the first lap really, but I used it to my advantage more or less, which was good. So slipstreaming now to, got to remember that guy's there on the left hand side and I don't think he's going to ghost, so trying to get down the inside now, looking for that about 70 metre mark on the right hand side, judging it by the 50 and the 100 metre marks. So got two people down the inside, need to give room, but it's like touring cars as this, if you get stuck on the outside you end up losing more than one position. Just battling with one guy and then all of a sudden I'm 2 places down. I could have been in second place, but no, I find myself in fourth. So let's keep on the back of these guys. We've got a gap to the guys behind, so T Bergsma behind, so long as we keep that gap and he don't manage to start reeling us in, then can just concentrate on getting back with these guys. And no, that was close, and trying to overtake again like I'm going to try now. So I'm down this guy's inside, but it's not the easiest corner to go down. Just try and make sure I get the apex. I didn't do anything wrong there, so if there's any contact that's the guy behind or at the side of me. So I didn't have the inside line, so if he's got a problem with anything I did then, that's his fault in my eyes anyway. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion obviously, but glad I didn't get a penalty as well, because I did get a little corner cut in there. So let's try and hit this orange curve, got a good exit, miss the orange curve but not by too far. Slipstream this guy now up into fourth gear, getting up towards 100 mile an hour. Got to remember not to pull over to the left hand side. I've actually used that technique in the past to get someone to actually crash into that car, so drive right up to it as though you're going to as though you're going to drive that line and then move out of the way at the last second, and the guy behind you might not realise and can't react fast enough and ends up driving into the stationary car. So it's a bit naughty, but you can I've done it before and got rid of a competitor because of that. Actually worked as well, he fell for it. So yeah, I thought it was quite good racing strategy personally, but there you go, could be frowned upon by everyone. I won't do it all the time, as you can see. I won't do it on here, not in the league anyway. People that frown upon that kind of shit, so that's probably a corner cut there. Got to make sure that I don't give the run to the guy behind, which he's got, but I've got the inside line, so just keep that, make sure I don't get the cut back or break early, so I can't really get the cut back, and then take the corners right because of that as well. Lost speed overall, but I haven't lost my place. So I need to stop worrying about the guy behind now and just focus on getting good laps in, hitting all these curbs and putting in qualifying lap times basically. Oh, late on the brakes, a bit too late. Guy behind me's not got anywhere to go. He could have either got into the back of me then or nothing else basically, so managed to keep behind him. Look like that on the radar anyway, that's what I'm judging it by. Let's get the braking done nice and early, and let's get these corners nice and consistent now, instead of messing about trying to outbrake ourselves and stuff. And that's where you start going wrong. Got no chance of reeling the first guy in now, he's got away. I doubt there's any competition for first anymore, it's just second place I've got chance of. Good apex again there. Bit early into fourth gear maybe. Hitting the limiter there, that's not good. I'm going to have to go defensive. Very last second going defensive as well, probably caught out the guy behind. Bit indecisive of me, but didn't cause any massive dramas. He's probably thinking I'm a bit more of a harsh racer than I like to think I am though, this guy behind. I've done a few moves on him now where he's probably a bit worried about overtaking me because I'm a bit rough. I don't mean to be that way, it's just how it's happened. And I want to defend because I believe I can catch that guy in front and probably pull the guy behind me up to him as well, if he does stay behind me. If he keeps challenging me, we're both going to lose time and the guy in front's going to just run away with it. So here he is down the inside, means I've got to be really hesitant, but he gets it done cleanly and give him a bit of space to get it done as well, which is important. I've got to realise when he's had me and see if I can come back at him, but if not, I'll let him go. and then just concentrate on keeping fourth unless something happens in front of me, or I can start reeling them in as their tyres go further up. Anyway, I've got to concentrate on staying in fourth, like I say, at the moment, so let's keep on that ethos for now. So trying to get these lines right now. Let's reel this guy back in. I feel like I deserve a podium. So trying to slipstream him again, but it's not the easiest corner to even get right this, never mind actually get an overtake done cleanly through it. So just follow him through it and hope that we get a good run out. We should get about an equal run, so about the same gap to behind him. But it looks like we're closing in on second place again between us. So if I can stay on this guy's tail, he might just take me up to second place, and then we might both end up overtaking second place, put me in a podium position again. Guys behind, again, decent gap to him, so as long as I don't do anything stupid, nothing to worry about too much. Unless there's some guy that just had a terrible qualifying that's really quick behind us, then he'll be coming through shortly, no doubt, to everyone's surprise. So got about 5 minutes left of this race, so a few more laps to go. Got about 4 more laps probably. Try and get the exit out of there right. Important for carrying the speed through here. It's almost the case, the slower the car, the more you know, you've got to be smooth and carry the speed and look after everything, never have a rear end moment. Got my brake balance set up to completely at the rear, 5 to the rear, so my front tyres have just got acceleration and steering to deal with, no braking, or as little braking as possible, because the brake balance doesn't stop the I don't believe it stops the front wheels braking whatsoever. It just puts the balance all together towards the rear. Anyway, it seems to work in the Clio quite nicely. It allows you to have that more stability on turning and through the corners with the steering. Oh, I thought I'd gone a bit early, but never mind. So back down into third, try and make it a minimal as possible mistake. Looking at the delta on the right hand side, left hand side, sorry. I've still got a 2-second gap to the guy behind, so let's just forget about that and focus back on what's going on in front of me and try to catch them again. Hopefully they'll start battling through a few corners, and being side by side will naturally slow them down by going defensive lines and different lines that isn't the fastest line around the track, whereas I can just sit behind. Hopefully they start doing that, and then I can just claw my way back towards them. So still in 4th place. I'm not too disheartened with that. It's where I qualified at the end of the day, so it's probably about my pace and it's probably about right, but still wanted a decent race, and I feel like as soon as I've been overtaken I've dropped back, so it's a bit of a shame, but there you go. Like I've said on some of my videos already, you can't have a good race every race really, so I switched into 5th there really early just to give myself some kind of torque in 5th up the hill, see if it makes any difference. Probably not, and if it has made any difference it's probably for the worse, but so it does look like I'm, if I start watching the delta time in the top left again to the guys in front, it's 1.3 second gap at the moment to the guys in front, so I'll keep glancing at that and see if it comes down as I try and put in some really good laps for the last couple. Unsuccessfully so far, but we're only 2 corners in. Let's nail the rest of the lap, don't get disheartened. So looking again, we're 1.3, we're 1.4 away, it's about equal to where we were last time I looked. Gap to the guys in front, that is. So crucial to get some kind of advantage through this corner. And if we look, we have got a slight little advantage. Nope, we're dropping back actually. So I probably gained on the brakes into that corner, but didn't get the exit quite as good as them. So gained initially and then dropped back. Practice, I hit the limiter quite a few times and it's so drastic a difference when you do it, so just making sure I don't do that as well. Wanting to get the maximum out of the 220 brake horse front wheels, powered by the Renault engine, but at the same time, God I'm warm, I need to take my hoodie off after this race. So 1:33.0 I've just done there, so similar time to what I did in qualifying. I've just done in the race with arguably more worn tyres, or possibly about the same actually. So at least I've still got the pace, but just still not enough to claw back any time on the guys in front of me at the moment. Slipstreaming don't really do much in this car, it's so hesitant on the acceleration. All the powers at the top end of the rev range in these cars. So you're waiting for the power, you're waiting for it, waiting for it, and then all of a sudden it comes at about 5,500 RPM to about 7,000, and then it shifts and into the next gear, and then it feels like a massive delay as well. I believe these are turbo, these Clios, but the 197 anyway, I'm kind of referring to, isn't naturally aspirated, and certainly like that. All the powers at the top of the rev range, revs up to 7,000, and it's about 5,000 where all the power is 5.5. So you don't get much power before you have to change gear, but you've got certainly quite a big kick whilst you do, and that's why it's good on a track, a Clio 197, because you have to keep the revs up and really drive it as hard as you can to get anything out of it really. So this guy trying to do the technique that I was on about earlier, trying to get me to crash. So I finished 4th, that's not bad, whilst I'm just talking my way through it. So it's a good job these Clios are quite easy to drive. Quickly just going to take my hoodie off because I'm red hot, so bear with me. So here we are. I think we've got a bit of a break in between these races, and then we're and then we're back on it for the second race. Same track, but second race, same length, reverse grid. So I'll be 4th from the back, providing no one has left or anything like that. In which case it might be a bit further forward. Don't particularly want to drive around and bore myself with the track, but need to get out there and make sure when the race starts I'm on track and everything. So I'll get out there and probably wait on track somewhere, if not put a few laps in. Don't really have to change any setup or anything though, no setup to change, so we've just got to concentrate on doing the same again, if not having a better race, and just being that little bit more consistent than I was. I want a bad race, but a bit of contact I had at one point, not that it made much difference, but certainly never like to have contact in my races if I can help it, but hey ho, it happens. Oh, I haven't saved the replay, which is annoying. I've just remembered. I'm sure someone will share it on the activity feed. Sorry about that, briefly checking something. So we're just going to park up and wait for the next race to start, basically. So I might write back to that guy since he's given me a little compliment. Nice driving. What's he called? MB512. It's the guy we're chasing for a little bit. Mentioned his name whilst I was driving. Let's play again sometime, and that was a good race. That'll do. Congratulations as well. I'll say that, and then congratulations as well to, can't remember who won, so we'll just say congratulations. And we'll just pull up again, wait for the next race to start. Sorry it's a bit boring, but I'm streaming this. If I was recording it, I wouldn't normally put this kind of thing in the video whilst I'm just waiting around, but hey ho, there we go. Gives me a chance to talk about F1, I suppose. Valtteri Bottas winning the Australian F1 today. Race at Albert Park. Quite a good race, not too bad. Seeing all the new cars and all the new drivers as well. Quite a few new drivers this year in F1. And yeah, quite a good few results from them as well. So quite interesting for a change. And if you didn't watch it, maybe give it a glance, because certainly watch the highlights, because it's quite an interesting race, like I say. And yeah, not Hamilton winning, so there you go, who'd have thought it. So, again, just waiting here, drinking my Stella, smoking my little doobie that I've got left, and waiting. What else can I talk about? Rather annoyingly, there's a button on my wheel that's broken slightly, so the joystick on my CSL, Fanatec CSL Elite PS4, has broken slightly and it doesn't really work. It feels really like bad all of a sudden and doesn't really move the things properly, so I've got to keep my pad next to me and it's really annoying. So yeah, I have had it for like well over a year, probably 18 months now, if not longer, probably 2 years, not getting towards that region anyway. I don't really keep track, but yeah, it's not working properly anymore and it's annoying. I can kind of sort it out, but it don't last very long, and then it starts playing up again, so it's really quite annoying at the moment. Anyway, that's incredibly boring, so I'll shut up about that. 5-minute break. I think he wrote the host, so 5 minutes to kill. This is going to be interesting for any viewers that might actually watch this. 5 minutes. It's going to be like the longest 5 minutes of my life. Well, we can commentate on the chat, I suppose. I'm from Holland. Where the F are you from? Sorry, can't speak. Mr. Dre, I passed it over that. I'm guessing they're referring to the car that was stopped on the start-finish straight and never seemed to get going. So I don't know why I'm the only one out on track, but everyone else seems to be sat in the pits. Not that I'm driving. Might put a few laps in a second once I finish this little smoke. Keep knocking the microphone as well. So he's changed the obviously. Oh, so he's changed it. Yeah. So it's going to be a reverse grid. He's mentioned Charlie Whiting in the title there, which is a nice little touch. Died during the week, and pretty influential big guy in F1, and a lot of the drivers really liked him, and apparently he was like one of the first people you'd go to if you had a problem with anything and all that. So only 66 years old as well, bit of a legend. Well, a lot of a legend, been in it for years and years, and one of them people that's just F1 through and through. Anyway, a bit of a shame to see him pass away. Well, a lot of a shame, should I say. And yeah, nice little touch for him to mention it on the little title for the race. Even though a lot of people won't see it, it's still nice for us guys to see that. So again, just waiting. Looks like a few people are coming out of the pits now. I'm going to go put another lap in, just make sure my settings are all okay before I start. Actually, yeah, we're all good. And just put another lap or two in and make sure I'm ready, still hitting the right spots for the braking zones and everything. Especially this first corner, always feels like you could brake later, so try not to push it too hard because it's easy to outbrake yourself and end up in the gravel on the right hand side, or straight forward as we look at it now. On the right hand side now, as I'll demonstrate, there you go. It's not gravel, it's grass, but same principle, you don't want to go in it or onto it. Just try and carry as much speed into here as possible. And then same through here. Getting the feel so in between gears, but going down into third this time. Looks like they're still talking about that guy that was stopped on the start-finish straight. Not wearing my racing boots tonight. I've just realised really as I were braking into there then. So I normally wear my racing boots when just because of my metal brakes really, and it can hurt after a while if you're using barefoot or you know just in your socks. So these guys are messing about a little bit. Just take a wide line around them, and then look to get a decent lap in, just to look and refresh myself again before the second race starts. Starting at the back, so I need to be not making mistakes like that for a start, but I need to be putting in fast laps to get myself anywhere near making up some positions and getting up front where I want to be, obviously. Third in the championship at the moment, so I want to keep that going. Fourth place that round, so it'd be nice if I could have another fourth or improve again on that, and it'll probably keep me in third or thereabouts. Might drop down into fourth, but it looks like people who were up front in the first race and finished ahead of me were people that were probably ahead of me in the championship anyway, so probably keep third place maybe in the championship, maybe drop to fourth like I say. I missed that message because I was just talking too much. Keeping the car not too bad at the same time whilst I'm just talking away, so feels like I'm making some kind of progress with this commentary malarkey and driving at the same time. I suppose playing a bit of Dirt Rally 2 and trying to do it has taught me quite a lot. Concentrate when you need to basically, and then talk when you can. So 2 minutes till the race start. I made a G123 once again. Got a YouTube channel with loads of Gran Turismo content on it and a bit of Dirt Rally content on it, and one lonesome Project Cars video that I did the other day on it as well. So if you're interested, go check out my my other stuff. It's all got commentary over it and kind of describing what I'm doing at the same time as driving. If you like what I'm doing as well, give us a subscribe and all that. Much appreciated. And that way you get to see new videos that I put up, especially if you hit the nice guy behind me there, not aggressive whatsoever, this hamster guy like I said. So even though we're not in the race, I still don't take kindly to some guy ramming me. I won't retaliate unless he he's dropped behind me, but now he'll try and get the run on me and do the same again, no doubt. So let's see if it does down here. We've got 2 minutes till the race starts, so it's no big worry if it does. It doesn't really matter, but it still doesn't show him in the best light if he's going to drive like all the time. Everyone's stopped all over the place. No, he's dropped way back, so more terrible driving from me there, going on the grass. And going wide there, making the line into that second, what is a right-hander out of a left-hander difficult. Oh, it's bad there. Oh, here we go, start of the final. I'm going to say a bad exit out of there. Right, let's see what we can do from towards the back. We've got faster guys behind us, so everyone behind us is obviously faster than me. Well, they came in front of me in the last race, should I say, and it looks like I've got the hamster behind me, so he's going to be coming through because it just comes through. He don't really wait. So waiting for the lights. Just going to nail it in first gear this time instead of trying to get the traction right. Probably worked against me a little bit, but I haven't lost the place, so not too bad. Can I keep the inside? Yeah, no one's hit me either, so that's good. Go around the outside here, give the guys on the inside some room. Make sure I get that line right. Carry the speed. So I've actually made a few places there. I'm in 7th place now. That's good. Good start to the race. Let's get this corner right. Not leave too much room down the inside for an attack. Yeah, and cut back on this guy as well. Make sure I've got a chance down the inside of him, which is the guy who was racing in the first race quite closely, I think. Maybe not. It's all happening a bit quick, I can't tell. So trying to get the inside line again. Cut back if you like, even though it's a massive corner to get a cut back on. So it takes forever, but I have managed it. But now it leaves me down the inside, the outside, which is vulnerable. Try and go wide, give people room. So everyone's getting a bit messed up, losing pace. So I've managed to gain loads of positions through there quite nicely without any heavy contact. There was a little door to door, but never anything race ruining. So this is a really good first lap for me, as you can see. Just need to keep it under control, not get too excited, not hit this guy on the outside because that was close. He had a moment, so he almost stopped and made me hesitant there as well. So I'm just managing to nudge in front of him nearly. No, I don't think I can. Can I go ultra late down the inside? I managed to do it. Oh, so someone's absolutely tonked me. That was a dangerous line for me to do, to be fair. But doing that, someone's absolutely hit me, and he's waiting for me there on the right hand side. But it's all very well and good waiting when you were racing in leagues with people, but he just completely ruined my first lap. That was awesome there. So let's get back on it and see if I can claw a few places back again. So I'm in 7th place now, from the dizzy heights of wherever I got to. 4th was it? Oh, that was exciting. So it's a shame, but here we go. Guy gave me the place back, so I've got a chance. Loads of rear end action there, but lined it up nicely to get the corner done. So I've got a good run on the guys behind now as well. Got a bit of a gap to them, so just concentrate on this guy in front and getting a good run on him through here. He seems to have pulled that a little bit away from me, so keeping his slipstream and see if I can gain it back. Get into 5th gear, up the hill. Cut to the inside, he's already gone kind of defensive, he hasn't run it wide to the curb. So I've gone late on the brakes, but he's gone even later. And he's messed up my line, but managed to get away with it. No contact. Could have hit Wimpy quite easily there, he could have done as well, but that Ralph managed to get it done and got past Wimpy. So a bit rough and tumble, but this is Clio racing. Everyone's in the same car. You've got to really push to make anything work, really, otherwise you're all just driving around at the same speed. So again, trying to avoid contact, but understeering towards him there. Didn't make any contact, which is important for me. I always like to consider myself a clean racer. So trying to make the most of third gear coming out of there this time. Get down his inside early to give him show him my intention early, so he knows I'm going to go for an overtake down here. So he gives me a little bit of room maybe. Nope, he's not giving me much room. Make sure I get the apex, and then you can't complain because I haven't done anything wrong in that case. I was down the inside, so as long as I get the apex and get it stopped, I haven't done anything wrong. So I managed to gain the position. I just need to make sure I get away from the guys behind now, and the guys in front are battling, so that gives me a chance to catch up to them, which it looks like I've done through just those few corners. It was a bad time for them to start battling because it's the whole run up to this last corner that they've just sacrificed. Feels like a whole race worth of actions happened already, and we're only on the third lap as I glance up at the top left. Oh, completely lost it at the rear end there. Managed to avoid everyone. Again, important for me me personally to have clean races, just for my own mentality and thinking I'm half decent at this. But that was a hell of a moment there, so gathered it up and made sure that I didn't collect anyone, even though I got it completely wrong. So I hadn't actually lost too much time. I'm still right on the back of these guys in front of me, and I almost need to just take a breather for a second and stop talking, because I feel like I've been flat out of my throat hurting a bit. So a good exit out of there. Again, everyone in the race is right in front of me. Guy in front has run away with it, but second place is only right in front of me, including 3 other cars as well. So a good exit out of there again. Down this guy's inside now, but finds me on, puts me on the outside line for the next corner. So we've got to be careful. He doesn't know me earlier as well. Look, he's coming across and barging me a little bit. I've actually got a line because I probably surprised him there, so then he, with that little nudge that he gave me, then he felt a bit surprised that I was there and gave me the room. So this guy's gone wide in front as well. Let's make that an opportunity into this last corner. He's nearly gone defensive on me and blocked me, but no. So I've actually made up 2 places into last corner, so long as I get it done. Yeah, I managed to get it done quite nicely as well, and I've gained a bit of a place, a bit of a lead, so I'm into 3rd place. This is a good race. Oh, I'm glad to stream this now. That first race wasn't the best, but this one's a lot more entertaining already. And we're only on lap 5, and just at the start of lap 5 that is as well. So trying to get the consistency going now. I've got everyone behind me basically, just so I don't have them reeling me back in, and then have to drive defensively and lose more time to them. So I need to make these next 2 laps basically really work for me, and pull away a little bit from the guy in 4th place, Dark Ralph. I know he's fast, so I think he's actually ahead in the championship. I think he's in 1st place in the championship, so I know he's a fast guy, but just so long as I can pull a little bit of a gap to him, which I aren't managing at the moment, but it looks like we are collecting the guy in front a little bit. A bit hesitant there, I lifted off of her a bit too long, so I just got to keep the line, make sure we're looking on the radar, he's right behind me. But he had nowhere to go there, which is lucky for me. Place that he caught me, he hasn't really got an overtaking chance. So now he's looking at an inside, and I'm just going to let him go, I think. Although it doesn't sound like it's very race driver of me, which I'm not. I'm a guy that sits in his loft playing computer games. But I've still got the inside line for the next corner in this case. I've actually managed to get a good run on him and managed to keep it, so I'm surprised about that. I managed to fend Dark Ralph off, and now he's going to have a little bit of grief from behind and maybe have to defend and drop back from me in that case. So this guy's gone ultra wide to try and get the line into the 2nd corner, which gives me the inside. He's opened up the opportunity, so I've grabbed it with 2 hands, and then I find myself in 2nd place all of a sudden. So now, ultimate opportunity to try and run away and if possible make up the 6.7 seconds to the guy in front, and give him some grief in the last a couple of minutes of this race. Got about 7 minutes left at the moment, so about halfway through, or just over halfway through we are. Sorry, no, we've got 6 minutes left. And on the bottom right hand side. So I don't know why, but I keep getting incredibly hot driving tonight. So I don't normally suffer with anything like that, but I'm getting a bit sweaty again. Not that you need to know. Not that anyone's going to watch this even. And I do feel sorry for you in a way if you do. But at least this race has been a good one. And I hope I've given it some kind of interesting take with the commentary as well. That's my aim at the end of the day. So I've not really made a mistake, but just lost a little bit of time here and there, and Dark Ralph's around the back of me again. Slipstreaming, but it doesn't make much difference. Again, I'll repeat myself in this car. It doesn't make a huge amount of difference slipstreaming in Clio. Just got to make sure I don't open the door up too much to him, because he's right behind me, so important to get that apex there and still make sure I'm tight to it. Otherwise he's going to have the opportunity, or the temptation anyway, is going to be there for him to dive down the inside. So we're going to run it wide on the exit, hopefully get away with it without a penalty. He's got the run on me a little bit by the look of it on the radar, so I'll go to the right hand side. He's sticking to the left, so he's giving me the defensive line. Just got to get the braking done and make sure I work it. Don't run it too wide yet. So not too bad for managed to keep the place. But again, he's got pressure, so if I can back him up in a way to the guy behind, then all the better for me, because then he's got to defend to him and starts losing time. So a bit of race tactics coming in here, because I'm really find myself really without the pace at the moment. So I'm just thinking defensively, what can I do fairly but intelligently to keep these guys behind. Again, it's not just about the racing line or anything like that. That's all part of being defensive, obviously, but it's about being hesitant sometimes at the last corner and stuff like that. I remember watching touring cars a couple of years ago when Plato was actually in his prime, Jason Plato, and I think it was at Croft. He just completely dominated the pace of the race by the way he came out of the last corner and just held people up. Basically like this, if people can't, we've got nowhere to go, so they can't go into the back of me because everyone's trying to race clean, so I can just delay that little bit on that corner. They don't expect it, and then when I get back on the throttle, they're slightly more delayed than me, because they've got to react to already a strange situation which they wouldn't expect compared to the normal driving style through that corner. So very complicated to explain, but very simple in principle. And as a motorsport fan, I like all sorts of just concentrate as I'm getting overtaken by two cars. So I'm dropping down from third to Amalo. Can I keep it going? Make sure I get this curb. It's a bit rough from me, but again, we are in the Clio. Won't be doing this in the MRC. If anyone's watching from the MRC or SimFX, I won't be doing that kind of rough and tumble racing, but I feel like I can get away with it in the Clios. Anyway, find myself still in third, so that's good. Only a few minutes left as well. Literally 2.5 minutes left. Just need to keep it nice and tidy now, make sure I follow Dark Ralph and don't drop back. If anything, challenge Dark Ralph if I can, and try and get second place, and then it'll be a third as an average mean of tonight's two races, which is good. We're taking a lot of curb there, but why not? There's no penalty for it, no one's watching. Again, taking a lot of curb, giving Dark Ralph a bit of grief now. Let's give him a flash of the lights as well, why not? So flashing my lights at him. If he's looking back at me, he'll see that. I think I'm ultra aggressive when I've got no intention of being, but it might worry him slightly. Hopefully it has, and forced him wide slightly there, but I've not actually gained any speed and managed to make an opportunity out of it. But he did have a little mistake there. So got my foot down nice and early, just got it turned in and then foot back down straight away through there. So a bit wide at that last one. Just carry the speed, don't turn too much and scrub the speed off. So I've lapped a little bit through there and dropped back a little bit, so I've maybe lost my chance to get second now with only 58 seconds left. So once we go over the line there'll be one lap left. Again, decent exit out there though. I've got the slipstream on this guy, even though it's not on Dark Ralph, even though it's not that you know, effective in these cars. Got to make sure I don't hit him, even though I want to be right next to him to give myself a chance. So again, just get a good exit, concentrate on the exits rather than the entries. That's where I can really get the overtake into the next corner or dive down the inside or whatever. From the opportunity I make through the exit of one corner, for example here, this is quite a good exit all of a sudden. And I find myself close to him. He's gone wide and carried a bit more speed actually, so I dropped back a bit. God, I'm talking a lot, my mouth is dry. Anyway, not long left, so I'll man it out. He's gone wide again, but it's a good line. He follows that line by the look of it. That's his line through that corner, which is a good way of carrying the speed, so I can't make up any time through that. Just counting on these last couple of corners now, we're on the last lap. And don't look like I'm going to gain second place. First place has actually got a penalty of 1.3 seconds by the look of it, if my eye's good enough. So is this mine in his chance to actually look? We're very close as well. Is it mine in Dark Ralph's chance to actually gain a position? Oh, I'm pushing. Oh, that's close to the grass. No, he's got rid of his penalty, so I'm going to be third. But good exciting finish, good race altogether as well, and that's the end of tonight's racing. So there you go, there's the results if you're interested. I've been ADG123, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to call it a rest at that because I'm absolutely gagging for a drink. I've really enjoyed that second race, as you can tell, hopefully. And yeah, if you've joined me, thanks for joining. If you aren't already, give us a subscribe and yeah, keep up with what I'm doing. I really enjoy doing it, so hopefully I'll get better at it and you'll keep watching. Take care, see you later, good night, and thanks for watching everyone. Really appreciate it if you do, especially if you're a subscriber and you've been following me for a while. Yeah, really appreciate it. So cheers everyone, good night, bye.